I'm pretty much talk about the experiences that I went through when I was in college, because just like you guys, I've been exactly where y'all have been at. I was actually, it took me 8 years to get a 4-year degree, not because I didn't have the grades. I changed my major a lot of times, so it happens to the best of us. So I'm asking y'all a question to get started. What are the things that y'all had to do in order to get to college? Had to apply. Anything else?
Maintain a decent.
All right. All right. Anything else? All right. All of those are actually correct. You had to have maintain some GPA, test scores, extracurricular activities, and you also had to apply to go to school. The reason I say this is because I did everything that was required to do to go to college. I actually wanted to get away from South Carolina. I hated it. I hated my hometown. Hated where I lived at the time. The problem is that when I turned everything in, I didn't have the right SAT scores in order to graduate. Well, not to graduate, but to actually go to college. My SAT is probably one of the lowest of all time. I made a 690, which is pretty bad. But it was too late for me to retake the test. So I applied to almost every school that I could think of, because the guidance counselor told me that in order, since my GPA was high, my SAT score was low, it's going to balance itself out. I was like, okay, cool, I should be good. Well, I applied to every school and they told me no. So the school I had to settle for was the community college that was in Spartanburg. That was the only college that would accept me. So I ended up going to community college. Well, the thing is that I ended up flunking out my first semester, straight F's down the line. I worked and I went to school at the same time, because in the house I lived in, I had to work. So I ended up doing that and I ended up flunking out. And when I flunked out, the reason I flunked out was because of me working, and I ended up getting fired. Lost my job. I lost my job, didn't have the transportation to get back and forth. And since I moved to the other side of town, the bus routes was not enough for me to go to school. So that's why I ended up flunking out. That put me into a thing that I was always told that I was going to fail even before I was born. My mom had me when I was 16 years old. And they pretty much told her that you and your children will fail in life, no matter how hard you try. And so once I realized that I wasn't going to college, I equated me not going to college as me failing in life. And so when I did that, I was very disappointed. Not for myself, because I felt like I let my mother down. I let the people that were supporting me down. And so it put me to a very state of depression. And it got me to the point that when I worked another job, I ended up losing that also. I actually lost a job every couple of months. I kept getting laid off. So it basically put me to a situation I had no place to live. So I had to, I stayed in my car for a little bit. And then I got so depressed to the point that I almost committed suicide. And so one day I was driving, I was going to actually drive over the bridge. But I ended up missing it, and I was like, I'm just at the pole instead. Yeah, I was scared to commit suicide. So I was heading towards the pole, and the thing is that right before I was getting ready to hit that pole, it turned at the last minute. I ended up hitting the ditch. Now, to this day, I still don't know why that happened. I still don't know. But what I realized at that moment is that I'm here for a reason. And that's what I'm here to tell you today. No matter what you go through in life, no matter what circumstance that you have and what you go through, you have a purpose and you have a reason of being here. So I ended up going to college, but it wasn't until about 2.5 years later. So I didn't get to go back in until I was supposed to be in 2020. So when I went, it was actually to a school like 3 hours away. I played a little ball down there, so that was the reason, the only motivation why I went back to school. So I went down there and actually applied myself. I done well. I made very, very good grades. And I had a circle of friends at the time that I went to school with, and they was asking me why I'm going so hard in school. Like, why am I doing this? And I basically told them that this is my second and only chance of me actually getting an education. Like, where they came from, they was 18, they were just having something to do. But for me, I had to come to a sense of purpose. That's what I'm here to tell you today, that no matter what you do in life, always have a great sense of purpose of doing what exactly you're doing. So I went down there, applied myself really well, and they pretty much told me that I was going into beast mode. Now, I know I probably got 2 athletes in here, we hear that pretty often. And for me, there's really no mode. You should not have a mode to go into anything. You should be a beast, period. It's in our nature to be beasts. Now, I'm not saying like as an animal it's in nature, but I'm just saying it's an instinct for us to do exactly what we need to do to get our goals and missions accomplished. And so, I want you to apply today that no matter what, you will apply the mentality to do exactly what you need to do in life. No matter what circumstances happen, no matter what adversities you go through, no matter what you go through in life. And the number one thing I learned about adversity, and this is when I realized when I went back home and I ended up having to go to upstate, is that I wanted to dodge adversity. I wanted to dodge circumstances. And I know most people, they don't want to be challenged. They don't want to go through anything like that. Who doesn't? Who wants to face adversity? Who wants to struggle? No one does. And what I realized is that, and just apply this to your life, adversity cannot be dodged. You cannot dodge challenges. You can't dodge circumstances. It's not possible. It's not possible for you to, is it possible for you to dodge any of that kind of stuff? Because if you do, you will realize that adversity is going to challenge you to the point to see if you really want it or not. Ask yourself, do you really want it? When you're going through stuff and you don't feel like doing it, when you're getting all emotional, think about that. Do you really want it? Do you really want to do what you need to do? That's what adversity is really for. It tests your character. So, when I was going through all of that stuff, I realized that I need to have a big 3. Now, I'm a big basketball fan, and you need a big 3 now to even go to the playoffs. You need a big 3. Find 3 people and find 3 things in your life that's going to push you to greatness. Now, for me, that happened to me on August 6, 2012, when my son was born. That created the greatest motivation for me because now I get to give him the things that I never experienced. Like I told you earlier, I grew up without a father. So my goal was to give him exactly what I didn't have. And that was an active father in my life, well, in his life. And that's one thing I need to tell you about learning lessons. Don't think about anything that you do as a failure. If you come up short anything, it's not a failure. It's just a learned lesson. And my learned lesson of me growing without a father, now I can give my son every single thing that I've never gotten. That is a lesson that I can take with me until I die. Another thing about what I experienced when my last 2 years at Upstate, I ended up having to work 3 jobs while I was in my last 2 years. Just because I had to pay the bills and one job I had wasn't enough. I really couldn't add up all those bills, and it was just really, really rough. And it really showed me what I really want. Do I really want to do this? I really wanted to just quit. And I remember something my mom told me when I was 11 years old. She basically told me that you need to start what you finish. I was like, start what you finish. And I was like, I really didn't understand that until that moment happened. When I was 11 years old, my mom threw me on the football team. Now, people love football, but for me, I sucked at it. Like, I was the shortest and the skinniest kid on the team. And I really hated it. It got so bad that it got to the point half the team quit. Well, actually, most of the team quit. We had 12 players here left. Anybody know anything about football? You only play 11 at a time. Guess who was player number 12? This guy, sitting in the back, in the bench, by myself, pacing like this, back and forth, with my helmet on. And I was doing it the entire time. But no one knew I was crying on the inside. I was really crying. They didn't even put me in the game. That's how bad it was. They played 11 the whole game. I'm sitting the bench. And so I was really mad. I got to the point I was humiliated. And I stopped going to practice. I would literally out in the bathroom and just start crying because I felt so humiliated. The next week when they had practice, right before the game, they was like, oh, we're gonna give you some playing time. I said, okay, cool. Thing is, they had me and another guy. And they made a team vote. And they basically said, which one is the toughest? So I just walked on off and sat on down and started crying. I knew they weren't gonna talk about me. The coach did it on purpose just to humiliate me, just because I missed practice. So my mom knew nothing about this. So I told her, I was like, Mom, look, I'm done with this. I'm so done. I just want to quit. I don't want to play football no more. She was like, well, first of all, I paid for that membership for you to be on that team, so you're going to play regardless. So that was number one. Number two is basically saying, I taught you to never quit. You cannot quit. I was like, why can't I quit? It's easy. I ain't got to do it no more. She said, no, you need to start what you finish. You need to commit yourself to excellence to the point that even if it gets hard, if it gets tough, if it gets rough, that you will not quit. And I'm like, man, I'm going to quit anyway. Well, I really couldn't do it. I was going to lose. And I'm going to so I'm good. There's nothing I can do about that. So that was a lesson that I learned. I need to completely start what I finished. That's why it took me so long and I had to finish college, just because I had to finish what I started. Because I knew my mom and everyone else and my son was looking at me, basically saying, I need to start what I finished. A lot of times it got so hard. I remember my very last year of school. Now, most people was excited during the senior week. They're like, yes, I'm finally about to graduate. I'm up out of here. Well, the problem is that I got to the point I got so low because at this time, most of my friends and people I went to high school with, they was getting their degrees. They was in master's programs. Had a few friends that was in their PhD program. They was excelling in their careers. Meanwhile, I'm working 3 jobs, struggling just for a bachelor's degree. I felt really, really low. And that's another thing. Never let people, what they're doing in their life, apply to yours. Someone's chapter 10, don't compare it to your chapter 1. Just because you started, don't look at someone way ahead. You need to have tunnel vision. Focus on what you need to be doing instead of focusing on what other people are doing. That's something that I had to learn the hard way. At the time, I got so low. So I got on my computer and I almost signed up out of my classes. I almost dropped out of them. So when I did that, right before I was going to press the button, my son ran towards me. By this time, he started walking. So he ran right towards me and jumped on my lap and looked dead at me. And I'm like, this boy looking at me like that. He always looked weird at me all the time anyway. But I knew this was for a particular reason. The reason he looked at me like that was because he's basically saying, Dad, I am depending on you. I am leaning on you. If you quit this, you can't ever tell me to quit when I get older for anything else. So I realized, I was like, okay, I need to make this happen because it's bigger than me. Anything that you do in your life, do not focus on just you. You need to do it for someone else because your legacy is on the line no matter what you do in life. Make the right choices, make the right decisions, and focus on yourself towards excellence because your future children is waiting on that. Your parents is waiting on that. Even if your parents in your life is not the way you want it, you're still doing it for them. So I'm here to tell you today, make sure you maintain your legacy. I know when I was young, I didn't think about my legacy at all. I didn't care. I was focusing on me. Everything that I do now is focused on what I really want to do. Your legacy as a person, legacy towards your family, and the legacy of our own culture. If you notice today, our culture is all over the place because everybody wants to adapt to it. Know who you are within yourself. Your legacy is very, very important. So that's really one of the main things I really want to touch on. Your own personal legacy. What does your legacy look like? How can you tell what your legacy is? Trust me, you got time. It's not like you have to figure it out tomorrow, the next day, or next week. Because no matter what you go through in life, your legacy is always going to be there. But you need to stand for something. That's what legacy truly is. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything else that comes through. That's my main thing about legacy. My last part is that I want to talk about a story that I heard about a long time ago. There's somebody told me a long time ago. It's about a carpenter. He worked maybe 30 years in this company. He was there for a long period of time. And so he was ready to retire. He was like, man, I'm done with this. I'm tired. I want to see my family. I mean, I'm going to miss the paycheck, but it's my golden years. I'm about to die anyway. It don't matter. So let me enjoy my years while I can. So he went to his boss. His boss was like, he's like, hey boss, I'm getting ready to retire. I'm done. Boss was like, okay, that's cool, but I need you to do one last thing for me. He was like, sure, what's that? You need to build this one last house for me. That's going to be your last project. He said, okay, cool. I can do that. It's finna be a breeze. I can do that. So he built the house. Thing was, the windows was really lopsided. He had that cement on the floor instead of the tile. There was no wood, no furniture, no driveway. It was, you know that rock driveway you drive through? Wasn't no street light, wasn't no porches, wasn't no porch light on it. There was nothing. It was basically halfway performance. So we came back to the boss. He was like, hey boss, I'm finished. I'm through. I'm through with building this house. He said, okay, that's fine. I thank you for 30 years of service. Here goes the keys to your house. The house that you built was yours. So he's like, damn, what am I gonna do now? Like, in his head, he's like, man, I could have hooked this up. This could have been my house. Now, y'all know if we would have done something and that's our house, we would have hooked that thing up. We'd have had a swimming pool, we'd have had a jacuzzi over there, we'd have had a huge man cave over there. We'd have hooked it up exactly the way we wanted. Now that's something that I learned the most, because you're the carpenter of your own life. You have the tools within you. You don't need no one else or nothing else around you. Everything that you got, everything that you can build is within you already. But it's up to you to see it. Every day you are building your house. Every single day of your life. Now, Matthew, do one last thing, and I'm gonna get out your way. I want everyone, you ain't have to close your eyes, but I want you just to visualize how everything is going to be 15 years from now. I know it's a long time from now, but bear with me. Imagine the house you're going to live in. Imagine the car you're going to drive. Imagine your career. Imagine you have a family, you're married, you got kids. Think about all of that stuff. Now that's just the materialistic part. Now think about your legacy. Think about what you plan on doing. What you think about what you're going to influence with the community. Think about who you are. Think about what you're striving to be. Think about everything that you would like to do within your life. Think about everything that you want to do. Every single part of it. Think about your spiritual life. Think about your mentality. Think about how you're going to look physically. Think about all of this stuff. Think about anything within your wildest dreams. It can actually happen. No matter what you think. Your mind will take you places your body can never take you. Open your eyes. Just make it happen. That's my time. Thank you.